Hello, all. Welcome on into our tarot spread for the week ahead. This will be for the week of March 9th, Monday, March 9th, 2026. And if I counted correctly, this will be my year anniversary of posting these weekly readings. So if you've been here since day one, thank you. If this is your first reading with me, thank you, and thank you to all of you who have supported me in between. I really do appreciate each and every single person that watches these videos. I enjoy making them. I enjoy sharing this with you all, and I'm thrilled to have you join me. And I feel like a year of consistently showing up every week is a big thing, so I'm celebrating that. Also, on March 14th, I am celebrating a birthday. It's my 50th birthday, and I am thrilled about that. I am better than I've ever been in my life. I mean that on all levels, and I am so thrilled to have achieved 50 years of life, and I cannot wait to see what happens next for me in that journey. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Because it is Women's History Month. I'm going to continue using the Our Tarot deck by Sarah Shipman. This is a lovely deck. Even if you're not into tarot all that much, or you know someone who's not into tarot all that much, but they are a women's history buff, they are a history buff in general, they like interesting women, or stories of interesting women, I should say, this is an amazing deck for anyone who might be interested in history or learning more. The guidebook itself is over 300 pages, and each section features information not only about the card and what it means, but also about the woman and her historical achievements. Yeah. So here we go. We've got some ladies popping out already for us. Yeah, this is a deck I hadn't been working with for a while, for not for any reason or fault of the deck. Just, I go through phases, and I picked it up for Women's History Month. In fact, I am recording this on March 8th, so it's International Women's Day. And yeah, let's see. We've got women who are both famous and infamous, I guess you could say. All right. And I see we have Harriet Tubman showing up. She showed up last week as well. But she is our focus this week. So that is amazing. I have to say, I was so impressed with learning much more about Harriet Tubman last week that I actually bought a biography of her and can't wait to read it. I grew up near, she spent her final years in Auburn, New York, and I grew up relatively close to there. So I knew about her from pretty early on as part of our local history, if you will, and I knew about her Underground Railroad efforts. But that is scratching the surface of the badass and the hero that Harriet Tubman truly is. So I invite others to explore more about her, because she really, honestly, is quite possibly one of the biggest American heroes we've had, and really an amazing woman. So let's begin then, and let's begin with Ms. Tubman. This is the Chariot, and this will be our theme, our overarching theme of the week. So the energy we might be dealing with the most or feeling the most, the energy that might most be present in this time, both personally for ourselves and on a world level. So this is a collective reading, meaning I'm not reading just for someone personally. I'm not reading for a single person. I'm not reading for anyone I even maybe personally know, because I don't know who's watching this. So this is sort of an overall energy that we're tuning into with the cards. And the Chariot is about a journey forward in life. It's often a very transformative journey. It's often whatever we are experiencing or going through is bringing us to a newer version of ourselves, or a better connected version of ourselves. Um, I read the Chariot usually as an internal journey primarily. And but it could be an actual journey. I mean, to be fair, one of the traditional meanings of this card is travel. So it could be that you are traveling. It could be that you are moving across the country or moving to a different country, or that you're just finally taking a vacation you've always wanted to take. But it does imply a movement. This is not a staycation. This is not everything's okay exactly how it is, and I'm just going to keep doing what I've always done. That is not this energy. This energy is there are changes. The good news is we're driving the chariot. We are driving the chariot. And so you have control over how this journey progresses. You have control over the steps you are taking to move forward. You have control over anything within yourself that needs to be resolved to move forward. You have control as to how people see you, how much of yourself you let people see. I would say the chariot encourages you to let people see more of you, to let people see all of you, and to love you anyway. You know, let them see those spots that you think are ugly on yourself. Let them see those spots that, not physically ugly, but like we all have emotional bugaboos or baggage, you know. Uh, let them see that, and let them love you anyway. Chances are they're going to. And there is a certain amount of freedom in that. There is a certain amount of freedom in accepting the journey, in doing the work to get through the journey, and to come out on the other side even stronger than what you started. And I love Harriet Tubman as a symbol for the chariot. For Monday, we have the Death card, and Frida Kahlo is our woman on the Death card, a very famous artist. I don't profess to know everything about all of these women, so as I said last week, I encourage everyone to Google, Wikipedia, go to your local library, do some your do your own research, as the kids say. To find out as much as you'd like about these women. But Frida Kahlo, obviously, I think most of us probably know, was a very famous artist. And I know that she had some traumatic, probably near-death experiences in her life, and so the Death card is she's probably a good representative of this, and just the metamorphosis that takes place in life and the changes we go through. And the Death card in tarot does not mean a literal death. It really just doesn't. It is symbolic of the ending that has to come to most things, the endings we experience so that things are able to begin again, to be reborn, to have fresh growth. Because we can't, again, with our journey, we can't keep moving forward if we're still holding on to everything we've ever been handed in life. We have to be able to let go. We have to be able to have endings. We have to be able to grieve. Part of death, part of endings is grieving, but being able to process that grief and let it go so that we can move on. And moving on doesn't mean you forget what happened. Moving on does not mean that you sweep it under the rug. This transition does not mean that there's a magic eraser that comes in and takes away all of the memories, all the pain, all the feelings. But what it does mean is that the ending gives us the opportunity to do the work, to do the processing, to then start over. And the chariot tells us that we have control over this starting over. So pay attention to the things that might come up today that either need to end or that are ending, and embrace it as an opportunity for new beginning. For Tuesday, we have Six of Wands, which is Boudica. And I've got to be honest, Boudica is a name I know, but I don't know anything about the history of her. From this, she looks like she was a leader and a warrior. Perhaps like the crown, what looks like a crown behind her. So perhaps a queen of some sort. Did I say Six of Swords? I meant Six of Wands. I'm sorry, Six of Wands. And Six of Wands is all about celebrating the victories in our lives. It is about standing in your confidence. So, this transition we're going through, where we're moving into maybe new parts of ourselves, be confident in that, stand in that, celebrate that, enjoy that, enjoy the victories. Maybe this ending is worth being celebrated. Maybe this is an ending you've wanted for a really long time and you finally have that closure. So you are able to begin again in a way that feels victorious, strong, powerful, that you have control over this. It might just be, you know what, taking a moment to check in with yourself and say, you know what, I am doing a great job. I like myself. I'm doing a great job. I've got skills. I've got strengths. People like me. People value me. You know, whatever that is, good day for affirmations, I guess is what I'm saying on Tuesday. Don't be afraid to trot out those affirmations on Tuesday. And I'm going to read up more on Boudica. I'm going to get out the guidebook and read up more about her, but I'm assuming she is a really great representative of this energy. For Wednesday, we've got the Fool, represented by Joan of Arc, and I think this is an amazing card for Fool energy. Amazing woman to represent Fool energy, because I'm gonna assume that at the time people thought Joan of Arc was a little foolish, that she was a little crazy, that she was a little off, if you will. I read a really great book that's a fictionalized account of her life, but it was really amazing. When I do this for my card of the day reading, I'll put the name of the book and the author in the comments, because I don't have it with me right now, but really amazing. But here was this very young woman who became essentially a military commander who stood up to a regime and fought as best she could, to against what she thought was wrong, you know, fought for what she believed was right, and fought for her people and her country and her region. And it took a risk. It took a leap. It took a big commitment when she wasn't necessarily supported by many people around her. You know, in very adverse circumstances. Joan of Arc was a poor country girl, and she stood up to the highest of the high at her time. And so the Fool is that energy. The Fool is standing up and taking a leap for what you believe is right, for what you know you have to do. Even if other people think you're a little quote unquote crazy, even if other people think it's too much of a risk, even if everyone around you is telling you, no, don't do that. The Fool tells you to follow your heart for what you know is right. Now, I will say the caveat of, it will not tell you to don't do anything like dangerous to yourselves or others. Don't do anything that harms yourself or others. Don't do anything that is illegal. Illegal in a bad way. But yeah, don't do anything that harms yourself or puts yourself or others in danger. But take that risk in your life. Beginning again is a risk. You know, going through an ending and beginning again is a risk. Taking this transformative journey is a risk. Standing in your own power and willing to be seen and celebrate yourself is a risk. So the Fool, for Wednesday, you know, whatever this beginning is, if it feels risky, if it feels unsafe, go ahead and do it. Or at least take the first steps to making this happen. Let Saint Joan let Saint Joan hold your hand in it, and step off that cliff, take that jump, take that leap. Feel that strength. That is for Wednesday. For Thursday, we have the Knight of Swords, and that is represented by Wallis Simpson. I saw her coming, so that's why I said some of these ladies are infamous, maybe more infamous than famous. Wallis Simpson, I've read a biography of her, by the way, too. Super into biographies of inspiring or infamous women, at least. Wallis Simpson famously got what was it, Edward the, oh gosh, I'm not going to know, King Edward, he was Edward the something of England. Famously, their relationship, their love, had him abdicate the throne, because she was an American divorcee and was not an appropriate royal bride, so to speak. So he The way the story is spun is that he chose love over over duty, so to speak. There's a lot of levels to that. I'm not sure it was the romance that people like to paint it as, but anyway, our Knight of Swords. Our Knight of Swords charges into battle. They maybe, even though the swords are our suit of intellect, they're our suit of wit, they're our suit of the mind, their focus, their intellect, their intelligence, their analysis. They also are, our knight is rather impulsive. Our knight charges in. So maybe they don't have all the facts analyzed. Maybe they don't have all of the ducks in a row, so to speak. But they are a person who will act very decisively, who will act very quickly, who, maybe has done, given we have Wallace Simpson, there might be a little bit of manipulative energy here, that they're going to act quickly before anybody else has a time to think. I like that. So they're a person who maybe is acting before everyone else has a time to think. And you might not be a manipulative person, so I don't want to put that on you if you are not. But you might need to, shall we say, manipulate a situation. So maybe you're acting first, you're acting swiftly, you're acting with the information you do know and have analyzed. Maybe you are acting swiftly and quickly before other people can come in. Maybe this actually goes really nicely with your fool's energy here of taking that risk and jumping, and you're going to charge in with what you do know, like you know enough. Now's the time to act. And I think that is more the message, because Wallace Simpson, lover or hater, was a person who took the knowledge she had and acted on it, and often acted on it in a way to better herself. And again, no judgment. We all have ladders to climb in life. And I think that that's sort of the message here, is to be willing to take that risk and to act. Don't wait. Take the knowledge you do have, and act. Do it before it's done to you, maybe, is another way to say it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in a nasty way. Again, I don't mean this in like royal intrigue, like people are out to get you. I do not mean that energy like this at all. But sometimes we do have to be the first person to take the step, to take the move, to say, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do before somebody else does it. This is what I'm going to do before somebody comes in and talks me out of it. This is what I'm going to do before someone blocks me from doing it. And I feel that's very much our Knight of Swords energy today, or for Thursday. For Friday, we have the Seven of Pentacles and Zora Neale Hurston. I know she's an author, or Their Eyes Were Watching God. That's the book? Among others, I'm assuming. But she is another that I will be looking up and learning more about. Her and Boudica. Everyone else so far I know a decent amount about. And the Seven of Pentacles is about appreciating the garden we've grown. The pentacles, again, are our suit of work, the physical, things we can sense, touch, see, taste, physically experience. So health, wealth, and a full belly would be our pentacles. And Seven of Pentacles, because we're past the midway point in the soup, but we're not quite to the 10. We're not quite done. It's a good time to take a break, take a rest, think about what we've accomplished. Think about where we are on the journey. Think about what we've brought into this world, what we've grown, what's present in our life, and to take a moment for the gratitude. But really also, much like Six of Wands, let's appreciate our efforts. Let's appreciate the work we've done to get there. A lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit for the work, the transition, the journey we are on. And I think Seven of Pentacles and Six of Wands this week really want us to appreciate that, really want us to appreciate where we are, what we've done, and what's happening in our lives, what we've built, what we've grown, what we've accomplished. So on Friday, take a moment to really think about that and celebrate yourself and really appreciate the journey you've been on. For Saturday, we have Four of Cups, which is represented by Gladys Bentley. And And I know who Gladys is only because I was flipping through the deck earlier this week and I saw this card and I'm like, I love her in this white top hat, tails, tuxedo. Gladys is someone I want to hang out with, just from this picture alone. And she was a lady band leader in Harlem. Apparently, they wanted a male band leader, and Gladys was like, "Nope, I'm your girl or your woman." And this apparently was her signature outfit, this white tuxedo with tails and a hat. And apparently she was a badass band leader in Harlem. And I will be spending a little bit more time getting to know Gladys a little better this week. Because like I said, Gladys looks like somebody I want to sit down and have a conversation with, or at least sit in that club and listen to her band. And here we have Four of Cups. And Four of Cups is about noticing where we might be a little bored, where we might have those feelings of apathy, where we might feel a little stagnant, stuck, where things might not be flowing. Whatever this journey is, this transition, there might be times where we're tempted to focus on what's not working or how much more we have to do. Or in the case of our Knight of Swords energy, that is an energy that really is pretty quick moving and charging and sort of an aggressive, assertive energy. And we might be feeling like we're not able to fully express that in a Four of Cups moment. But we are invited, instead of focusing on that energy, we are invited to see what else we have. Maybe hand in hand with Seven of Pentacles here, where we're appreciating our labor, we're appreciating what we've built. And we know we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I mean, this is a 4, so we're still pretty early in this journey here. But to acknowledge those feelings of stagnation, of boredom, of frustration, maybe there is a frustration that we're not getting there as quick as we want to. But to see what we do have, to appreciate what we do have in our life that makes us happy, what we do have in our life that's a blessing, what we do have that's being offered, even if it's not what we really want, or even if what we think we really want isn't coming to us as quick as we want to, we turn the other way. Much like Gladys was like, you know what? I know band leaders are normally men, but I'm a woman, I'm here, and I'm going to take this opportunity. And I'm going to be the best, most badass band leader you've ever had in this club. And, you know, so finding opportunities, even if it's what we don't, even if this is pretty loud and pretty present, this feeling here, find out what we do have. See that we do have choices and lean into that. And that's Saturday. For Sunday, we have 2 cards. And I'm sorry to say I don't know either of these women. I believe Abigail Williams was one of the girls in the Salem witch trials, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to look that up. And Sophia Duleep Singh, I don't know her, so I will be looking her up as well. But for Sunday, we have Judgment and the Devil. Sometimes I think tarot has a sense of humor because, frankly, I love the way this reads as a pair. And both of them, at their core, are sort of about finding freedom, are about following a call or a truth, and in some ways both about transitioning, both about expanding. Judgment is really about that higher power call to action or to serve a purpose, to find that deeper meaning in our lives, to really be where again, we might have been in this apathy of the Four of Cups, this stagnation, this boredom. Judgment calls us to break free of that. Judgment calls us to rise above, to rise out of that stupor and to act on those higher soul callings, to find that purpose, to live a life that is meaningful, to live a life that is full of action and purpose. And that is Judgment. The Devil is about, again, maybe this is our Four of Cups, along with Four of Cups, this stagnation, this keeping stuck. The Devil is about what holds us back. It can be a card of addiction in any of its forms. It can be an attachment that holds us back. So it could be a relationship that we know is not the best or healthiest for us anymore, as an example. It could be a pattern of behavior, self-doubt, low self-esteem, any of that that keeps us stuck, keeps us from fully realizing, keeps us back, holding us back from this journey to our true self, to our true power and our true freedom. So the devil invites us on Sunday. What is holding us back from this call? Where are you still stuck? Where are you still attached to something that you need to break free from? And what are these negative habits that are holding you back? What are these negative things that are holding you back? And in the case of a true addiction, in the case of a true mental health concern, I invite you to get help. Please seek out help and support for that. But if it's more of an issue you can work through on your own, like maybe a pattern of behavior, low self-esteem, a relationship, that you can handle yourself, that's absolutely okay. And the devil invites you to do that. But yeah, just be aware of where we're being held back. Like what are we ready to let go of? What are we ready to let go of so that we can get into this higher purpose, so that we can truly shine, so that we can take these leaps and move forward? And I love this. This to me, this ended up, I saw this, obviously as I'm looking through the cards, this ends up being a more powerful combination than I think I was expecting. But no, absolutely take some time to sit with this. Take some time to think about what you're being called to do and what is truly holding you back from realizing that. These are both very powerful cards. They're both major arcana cards. So they're a big life lesson. It's a big life lesson being handed to us. And take some time to sit with that on Sunday. I highly encourage journaling. About these. And that is our reading, folks. I really enjoyed doing this reading for my yearly, my celebration of a year of tarot readings for you all, tarot videos for you all. I am going to be doing a live spring equinox tarot reading on March 16th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you can't make it live, I'm going to provide a recording. I'll put a link where you can register in the description of this video. It's a donation-based reading, so pay what you can. Suggested donation of $17 because 7 is sort of a lucky number for me. But you can pay what you can, donation-based. I'd love to see as many people there as possible. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we start year 2 of these readings. Have an amazing week, everybody. I'll see you next week.